All right, here we go. Take number 777, but I'm not doing no more, so we go get it all in here. Hello, this is Cachet with Cachet Crafts. I am a quilling artist. Been quilling since October 2021 when I discovered paper quilling because I was trying to find a way to use up all the paper and cardstock I had amassed over the years. Um, Hopefully this session or quilling, the art of quilling, the act of quilling will provide you with some peace and relaxation and tranquility. Should not be stressful at all. And once you finish this tutorial, you will have created your own little masterpiece. I'm going to show you a few samples of what we're going to be making. Now, these are not anything you have to follow. These are just some of the ones that I've made, but you will have this same basic pattern. It's a heart that says me without you. And let's see, there is another one. All right, and we are going to get right into it with the kit contents. I'm going to let you know what everything is. You'll have this little frame, Dollar Tree frame. Don't be worried about the backing inside. That's going to be covered up by your actual pattern. We also have cardstock. If you got a kit that has, if it's a two-person kit or one-person, single or double kit, it's going to depend. But you get 3 strips per person. You really will only need 2. The third one is just in case you accidentally cut too short. So you'll either have 3 strips or 6, depending on a single or a double kit. You will have quilling strips. You should have 15 strips of the colors you specified just for the sake of this video, just using one color. But you'll have 15 of these strips. You will get a quilling tool. This is a slotted quilling tool that has a slot in there where you'll slide the paper into. You'll have tweezers that you will find useful for handling your paper, paintbrush, very sharp snips or scissors. You'll have a glue card. Mine is full of glue because I use it on a regular, but you'll have a glue card, and it may not look exactly like this, but it'll be a plastic glue card in your kit. You will also have glue, precision bottle glue and paintbrush glue. It's just regular Elmer's glue. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and get right into it. And like I said, I'm not starting again. I'm not editing. We're just gonna act like we all sitting at the kitchen table doing a project together. Hopefully that's all right with y'all. So go ahead and take a strip, and we're just gonna measure it out because working with the full strip, um, trying to maneuver a full strip can get a little cumbersome. So I like to kind of just start with measuring out and then cut off some of it. Let's see. 1 strip for each side of the heart. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one now. I'll have to cut it again, but this will get me started. This is where you're going to use this precision glue tip. You're going to, oh, let me stop there. And I turn the glue to the side. Normally I keep it in something like this. upside down so the glue is always ready to flow. But before you start gluing, go ahead and shape your paper. Just kind of rub your fingers to break up the paper fibers so you can give it a little shape. It will make it easier for you to glue. You know me. We both know where this is going. Go ahead and use glue that actually works here. And if your glue gets clogged up, go ahead and stick a pin in the metal tip and unglue it. So starting off, try to do about 1 to 1.5 inches at a time. And your tweezers will definitely help you. Don't put your tweezers all the way to the end of the paper, kind of maybe halfway through. Go ahead and use. Okay, I'm just going to place it on the glue that I already put down. And you can put a little pressure on. You don't have to press real hard, but you can put a little pressure on it. 3 to 5 seconds is really all you need. But definitely feel free to hold it. And this paintbrush you'll use, it's not necessary, but I like to kind of remove some of the excess glue if I have too much. And this is a well-used paintbrush, so it's a little frayed. But just go ahead and kind of swipe around the pattern, wipe the glue. And what I didn't say and what I didn't include is like a damp or a wet towel, because you'll get glue on your hands and you don't want to transfer it onto your pattern. And also to clean the brush in between, because that glue dust or those little specks of glue, they can get stuck around your picture and leave glue remnants that are hard to remove. So you'll just keep going around every inch, maybe between 1 to 2 inches, going around. And make sure that you do glue the whole outline. Don't leave any empty spots around your outline, because it will mess with the foundation of your outline, make it a little weaker. We don't want that. Glue dust. And just keep going. And I'm going on the inside of this. And the reason I go on the inside is because I'm most likely going to cover up the inside with another color piece of paper so that the black line doesn't show. So if you glue on the inside, this is just a little tip, but if you glue on the inside and pull your paper to the glue, there's less chance of, I picked that up too soon, there's less chance of the outside, the line showing, the black line showing on the outside. And you could switch that up if you were going to be putting a border on the outside. You could always glue the outside, and then I'll do that one here. You could always glue the outside and then let the paper butt up against the glue on the outside, so that you see there's a more black line on this side and it's less visible on the inside. Again, this part not necessary, but I still like to do it. The glue does dry clear, but depends on how you angle the pattern. You can still see it once it's dry. And Had a good chance to dry. Wipe that excess glue off. And remember, we are not going for perfection. All right. Here we are. On the day. Taking chances and roll the dice. Again, use your tweezers. Glue about 1 to 1.5 inches on the pattern. I'm going to go ahead and cut. And this is because this is not completely fully dry, it's a little secure, but I still want to hold it to cut this excess off there. And make sure you cut where it is dry, because if you try to cut where you've glued, you're probably gonna have a little trouble and tear your paper and get a little messy. All right, almost done with the outline. I'm just gonna do a bigger piece here. I'm just pressing, give it a little pressure. Of course, you all know how we did in school. Blow glue. Gently go around those edges. And sometimes when you're letting your glue dry, you need to make sure that the shape stays in place. You can use your tweezers to keep the paper from moving. You can use your glue bottle. Just make sure the bottom of it is clean. But that will, there you go. You can sit it there. Just let that dry a little while I kind of wipe off the glue. Okay. Here I'm going to go ahead and cut. All right. Last piece of outline. Again, give it a little pressure, not too hard. You don't want to bend. All right. We got the outline done. And this is where you have to put it in the frame before you do anything else. Because if you don't, you'll go outside of the space, the free space you have, and won't be able to fit it into the frame. So take that backing off. Go ahead and put that in. All right. Okay, we're gonna sit this to the side, let it dry completely. Now we're gonna work on what you need to do to do the filling. So we're going to use this one as an example first. This is just a whole bunch of coils. Again, like I said, did I say, I don't know if I said that. Maybe I didn't, but I don't work with, I know a question people ask a lot when they start quilling is, how long does the paper need to be? How long does my strip need to be? You don't know. You just kind of have to wing it. I work with full strips, half strips, quarter strips, and eighth strips. This is my song. Hold on, y'all. So this size frame is small, so I'm gonna stick with these may be whole strips. I'm gonna stick with a few full strips, but mostly quarter, halves, eighths, and maybe some thirds. I don't have a real recipe for the size. So with the strips, you're going to take your quilling tool. I'm going to do this right-handed since so many people are right-handed. Let's see. You go ahead and this strip is inside the slot. Go ahead and push it all the way to the end, to the tip of the paper, reaches the top of the tool. This pointer finger right here, you're using just as a guide. You just kind of press it at the bottom, press your pen down into your finger to roll it, to get your first roll around so paper doesn't come out. And then you just gently, this hand right here, I'm not using to pull the paper, I'm just using it to hold the paper in place. I'm not putting any pressure on either hand, I'm just holding and turning. And pull it off the tool. Kind of pinch it so where it straightens out if it's crooked. Just kind of let it coil out naturally on its own, let it loosen on its own. You can use your precision glue or your glue bottle. You want to go ahead and pull that little tip back, put a little glue, and if you see white, you have too much glue. So you really don't need a lot of glue at all to adhere the piece. Just kind of smooth it out. You can also use the quilling tool or tweezers, whatever you have to help you kind of adhere it. Press it, and there's a coil. So like I said, there's no rhyme or reason for the length of the strip. This was a half strip, so here's another half strip, but I'm gonna just do it odd size. It doesn't really matter. So with the colors you have, just make various, oh, again, I'm gonna do it right-handed. Just make a bunch of different little coils. And remember, do not add a whole lot of pressure. Let it uncoil on its own. Use this one. All right. And I'm also, see here how this is a tight coil. I'm gonna make one of those. I use a different tool so that there's no hole in it, but here you're gonna see just a little hole in the tight coil, but that's okay. This is, when you're doing the tight coils like this, where there's no opening like this, no space in between these tight coils, this is where you wanna add a little pressure. So you can pull this and you can roll a little harder. And then you wanna go ahead and put the glue on. And go ahead and roll it and close it up. Give it about 3 seconds. Go ahead and pull it off. And then you kind of pinch it to make sure it's straight. You can also, I told you I'm not editing nothing. So you saw that pop out. I'm just going to go ahead and redo it. No big deal. Should have gave it more than a few seconds. Okay. All right. Okay, 5 seconds. What is it? One 1,000, two 1,000, three 1,000, four 1,000, five 1,000. I think that's what we used to say in school. Okay, if it pops out again, so be it. So you want to kind of, you can use your tweezers to flatten it out, and that's a tight coil. So those are shapes you can make to fill in something like this. And let's do a swirl real quick. Let me get a different piece of paper so you can see. The swirl. Okay, so we're gonna make a swirl here, a few pieces. And I'm basically just making quarter strips. And I am going to glue. Get a little messy, so like I said, make sure you have a damp towel, or something that you can wipe the glue off if it bothers you. Go ahead and put that part. And I'm just gonna cut that off to get rid of that crease at the top there. Personal preference, not absolutely necessary. I'm just going to use my tweezers. Tip. Just kind of roll it around. Not going to give you a perfect circle with the square tweezers, but you can always just use the tweezers to get started. And then kind of unroll it and go back and work the paper back into a coil. And this is 8 strips. So definitely you can do less strips. You can do 2, 3. And here's what you want to, each one of these strips, you want to move till you get an equal amount of space in between them. So this first one is going to be a pretty big move. And then you just keep pulling them till you get space in between. All right. We're just going to pretend that's enough space there. So you want to hold it at the side and you want to glue the same spot everywhere. So just pull it back, glue, pull each tab back, the little glue. All right, so there you go. It's not a perfect coil, but I mean, it's a swirl, but so that's all glued at the same spot. You can absolutely go ahead and cut off all the excess, Or if you want, you feeling confident enough, you want to add a little zhuzh to your swirl, you can add some little coils at the end. You do want to make sure this is good and dry, or hold it real good. Then you want to just go ahead and slide the end of each one of these little pieces into your slotted tool and give it a coil. This is not normally how I would do this. Okay, I can't keep playing now. Let me go ahead. Okay, there you go. So give it a little coil. That was wet. We're gonna try it again. All right. I'm not gonna pull as hard this time. Okay. Go to the next one. Pull it down. You can even do them the other way. Whichever way you want to twist it, turn it. I think I'll go ahead and make this one this way again. There you go. So you have a swirl with some little coils at the end. Just sit that to the side. You may use it, you may not, but this is similar to this. Of course, you can shape it with your fingers to make it more. You can shape it with the quilling tool to make it more rounded. There you go. You might want to place it somewhere. Oh, let's see. There we go. You can place that. Get some coils there. Just kind of stagger your colors around. Put as much or as little as you want. And then for something like this, it is just basically the same as the swirls. And when you're doing swirls and any curved pieces like this, normally I say tearing is better, but when you're doing pieces like this as swirls, cutting is better so you don't have the frayed edges. So that was just, I'm just going to randomly cut 3 pieces. I'm just going to place a little bit of glue all again. I'm just traveling on this way. All right. This frog in my throat will not go away. All right. So we are going for this again. So just kind of hold it where it's still glued at, unless it's already dry. Just kind of separate your pieces and use your pulling tool just to kind of shape it into a little curve. Make it curve as much as you want. This side. You can, of course, pull them out more, give them more shape. Not necessary to use it on the inside. Just kind of play around with making some coils, and swirls and just some random shapes for something like this. Go ahead and dump that out. Now let's get to one like this. again. And for this one, I'm going to show you outlining the heart because you may not want it to be white all the way around. And you can really do this inside and out. You're pretty much just taking your paper and doing the same way you did it before with the white part, cutting the length of one side of the heart. And you can use the paintbrush to paint the glue on. You just want to make sure that it is fully coated. The length of, I'm going to go ahead and just make sure the length of the heart is fully coated because you don't want any spots where there's no glue because your paper will buckle and you will be able to see it. So this one I'm going to do the outside, this part. Again, these tweezers come in handy. And put it in there, wrap that paper around. And pull it in, and then you want to use your tweezers to kind of go around. You can also use your fingers, but when you get to these tight spots, use those tweezers. Just kind of drag the tweezers along the pattern so that it gets all that glue. Again, I'm trying to cut it while it's wet, so it's not gonna work out for me. All right, so that's the outside. I'm gonna do the inside on this one. Again, you can do the glue bottle or just quicker for me to do precision glue tip bottle. Y'all see that I didn't measure, but oh well. Luckily, I was doing the inside. All right. Oh, shoot. I just say I was doing the inside. Got a little too much. Got to cut some off. Okay, yeah, even though my love. All right. I'm going to go around it with the tweezers again. Try not to scratch it up. You have to put a lot of pressure, just enough to squeeze that glue. See the contrast there. And you can, of course, feel free to outline both inside and out, your choice. So again, this is just a little swirl. Go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and cut. Because when you have, just for the sake of demonstration, when you're using maybe 4 different colors, um, you just piece all the ends of one side together. There's a little glue. Just pretend this would be 4 different colors. And if you're using maybe like two, 3 strips, you can really, this is 4 strips. So, and I think I can make it work. But I'm just going to roll these strips. I'm pinching this really tight to give it that curve. I'm just going to give it that curve, let that sit there and dry. And when you want to add a little dimension, so you see these light green strips here. I'm asking you, can you see them? I can't even see them. Got my glasses on. Okay, let's see if I turn it that way. You see they taper a little bit. And some of the strips of grass, some of them are cut across flat, and then some of them are cut like right here with the tapered piece. You just take your scissors and cut at an angle to the tip of the paper so that you give it a pointed tip, and that kind of adds a little dimension to some of your pieces. These leaves, so the stem of course is just it's just a double strip in the middle of the song. Just gonna go ahead and cut that off. So the stem, just a double strip, put a little bit of glue in there. Again, it doesn't have to be a lot, and then you can use your fingers to curve it. Go ahead and place it wherever you want. And I don't recommend, I'm going to show you how to glue stuff down, but I do not recommend you gluing anything down to your pattern until you kind of get everything in place. You've made the shapes you want to shape, and then you made the shapes you want to make, and you know where everything is going to go. Then you can start gluing it down. These leaves here are the same as, it's maybe an 1/8 of a strip. And I'm just going to tear close to that. I'm just going to make a regular coil. Let it uncurl a little bit naturally. A little glue. Oh, I said white is too much there. And then just pinch the tip of it. And you have a little teardrop shape. And that is these little leaves and these little flowers. You can kind of play around with it. Again, these are the little tight coils. That's just holding the paper real tight on the tool so that you get pieces like this. The smaller the piece of paper, the smaller the coil is going to be. And if you have, let me show you a trick. You didn't get any pins. I didn't send you any pins, I don't think, but here's a little trick. If you don't like, let's see, you see how there's barely any hole in here? If you don't like the holes in your coil like this, you know you have that damp towel. Wet that. There's that damp towel, so you wet the tip of your paper. Use the pin, safety pin, whatever you have, and then just kind of roll the paper around that pin. Tear it off, and you're kind of holding it a little tight to make sure it doesn't uncoil. Takes a little getting used to when you're trying to do it with something so small or so thin, the diameter is so thin. But can you see? Let me put my glasses on again, y'all, because I can't see. Okay, you see the difference in the size hole you can get. You can also roll, wet your paper, start it with the pen, roll it, take the pen out, and then kind of roll it back and forth. And this is where you get no hole. And I'm going to glue. Oh, again. Tear that off. Let me see if I can hold these up on something. I don't know if it's going to work. Okay. I don't even like how this is looking. Here, let me just use the tweezers. So there's no hole in this one. This one, this is the one with no hole. Let me get that back. This is the one, no hole. Using a pen, wetting the paper using the pen, taking the pen out, and then rolling the paper. This one is wetting the paper and then using a straight pen, smaller hole. And this one is using your quilling tool. All right. So that's some of the tight coils. This was, where's that piece? There was angling the paper to give it a little dimension with the scissors, cutting it at the tip, curving it around. And this should be good and dry now. So we're going to put that quilling tool back in there and roll it a little more. Let's just help us roll. Twist it. I know it doesn't look like I'm twisting it, but I really am. It's a horrible job, too. There you go. That's what I was going for. Give it that corner. Okay. There we go. There we go. And just like we made that first one, we are going to pull the paper out. So you get a little space in between. Try to get some even space in between. And we're going to pretend like that's even space in between all of them. Glue right here. There we go. Although it's not dry, I'm going to go ahead and cut. So there's a little mini swirl. So you can make swirls. You can, really small. You can make teardrop shapes. You can Make these little accented pieces and just kind of play around with it where you want them to go. You can use the end of your paintbrush to shape. And I should be cutting that, but I'm not. Just kind of play around with where you want everything to go. And when you are ready to start placing your pieces in your shape, so we're just going to go ahead and get this out of here. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm just going to put it right there just because. So you can go ahead and spread some glue on your glue card. You can paint glue on your glue card. Make sure it's big enough to dip the piece in. So we're going to do the swirl, put it on the glue, press it down in the glue, kind of make sure all of it is in the glue. You may have to pick it up. Go ahead and place it where you want it. We can just go. Give it a little push. And there you go. There's that piece I was looking at. We're going to go ahead and kind of rub this in the glue. I should have shaped it first, but we're going to rub that in the glue. With a little bit more of a curve. Drop it, pick it up. Okay, I'm just going to place it right here just because. There you go. Do we want to put the swirl somewhere? And don't be afraid to, this is where you can use a little more glue. It's less likely to show because it's on the bottom of the piece. Where are we going to put this? Here. Ah, right there. Why am I making it difficult? There you go. Just fill in your piece however you see fit with tight coils, the loose coils, swirls. Dip them. Again, tweezers, because these pieces can be really small. See, I'm having trouble with these fingers here. You can stay. I won't know you. All right. I'm going to just, here. Just because it's here. Nope. And don't be afraid to mess up a piece. Just grab another piece of paper and try again. There you go. It can be as simple or as intricate as you want with the space you have. Oh, look, we have this little teardrop shape here. I don't know where we're going to put it, but let's just go ahead and we don't want to leave them out. There you go. It's purple, but you know, that's it. So you just play around with making shapes. Oh, I didn't show you. You don't have to coil everything all the way. You can most definitely just kind of have a coil and then have a tail on it. And where are my tweezers? She told me where I stopped in here before I. Oh, why not? There we go. That's it. It can be as simple as that. And bartender, pour me. Thank you for hanging in almost an hour watching me do that and ramble. Hopefully you got some enjoyment. Please make sure you send me a picture of your final projects. Bye, y'all.